already having some technical issues. I didn't plug the mic in all the way for this first intro, so we're doing it again. Good morning. I'm out here at the Swope Loop Trail in Concord. Never been out here before. It's supposed to have some good views, only a mile and a half, relatively easy terrain. So, not as heavy as last week, but we'll see if we get some. So, that's a pretty nice view. Probably good for a shot or two. It's a nice, misty, hazy, foggy kind of morning, but not too much fog. There's pretty much 100% cloud cover, but I think I've got some interesting shots if I line up some of these trees with the lake. So I'm going to get to that. So one of the things I'm trying to do with, all these hikes, these vlogs, everything is, obviously, like I said, I want to do 4,000 footers, but I really do need to increase my fitness, right? Because I can't be spending 12 hours on the side of a mountain somewhere. Here's what I'm trying. So before I started hiking again, I started doing 3 miles a day on the treadmill. Now, as it turns out, that is, it's helpful. If you can do it, it's wonderful exercise, but not super helpful in a hiking context, because the main place where you lose momentum is going uphill and downhill, particularly uphill being harder. So, I realized I needed to essentially target more things. So, I found a literally just a steep hill, almost a mile, and it just 500 feet of elevation gain. It's the kind of climbs that I have to do on a 4,000 footer. So, it's good training. Now, depending on where you've been online, there are a couple different opinions. There are people who say, oh yeah, no, you can totally, easily improve all of your uphill just by doing, exercises. And one of the ones they recommend is running, because it, cardiovascular health, it helps. One of the problems of going uphill is that it raises your heart rate because your muscles are working harder. So, running makes sense, and there are people who are like, oh, do weighted lunges, and this, that, and the other thing. And then, of course, there's the other camp, the other extreme, that says, well, the only way you can get better at hiking is by hiking. So just go out every day. It's like, that's not an option for most people, right? And while, at least for the summer, it's an option for me, in theory. I still got work and shit to do, so not going to happen. But I have decided to go for a bit of a hybrid approach with a slightly different primary goal than just strengthening. So, in order to strengthen myself, what I'm doing is I got a little stair stepper, at home kind of thing, not a big gym machine or anything, but, do at least 1,000 steps one day. The next day, do arm curls, just to increase the amount of muscle, because then on the third day I'm going to go out and do a hike. Well, here's the thing, is I don't want to do that hike right after I've done a whole bunch of stairs the day before. So the arm day gives me a day for my legs to recuperate and build muscle. But on top of that, the more muscle I build, the more efficient my body runs, essentially, right? Muscle burns a lot more in terms of, calories than fat. So if I increase the amount of muscle, my metabolism increases, I will hit my main goal, which is to lose weight. Now, before somebody gets on my case for, why are you trying to lose weight? The answer is I was 315 pounds. I think I got up to 325 at my top that I actually weighed in at. And that is definitely not all muscle. So if I want to hike longer, if I want to hike higher and better and faster, I need to, let me put it this way. If I have a 30-pound pack and I am 300 pounds, then if I lose 30 pounds, that means that I shouldn't have as much, not saying it's a one-to-one, but I shouldn't have as much trouble if I am 270 and have a 50-pound pack. So in other words, it's an excuse to allow me to pack more stuff. That being said, being lighter, being more efficient, being able to move for longer periods of time cuts down on how long I'm out on the trail, which cuts down on the amount of water I expend. There's a whole bunch of knock-on effects. So that's why the vlogs are back, because it gives me a point to say, at least once a week, I have to go out. I have to hike. I have to do something. Because otherwise, I'll just abandon it, right? I'll just say, screw it, I'm not going to do it this week. But if I have a tangible goal and something to do, I'm actually going to do it. So, let's continue on with the hike then. Almost done here. There's one overlook. It's not the kind of place I'd come for photography, but, it's just a nice little jaunt in the forest. There were some other trails in the area, so I might check those out at a later time. There's apparently a mountain view, which I would hope is not the view that I saw, so there's a little variety out here. But I'm going to stick to the trail that I selected and not go wandering off into a honeycomb of trails and then have trouble finding my way back. So, yeah, that's going to do it. I'll see you all later.